Hello guys, welcome to today's episode of the Money Sense Talk Show. So today we are going to be looking at three important questions that you must answer as a business owner. So if you're starting a business or you have already started a business, or maybe you are a working professional, you're looking at leaving your job, transitioning to starting or running your own business, these questions are very important. Now, it doesn't matter whether you have an office, you have a big shop, you have a store or anything, or if you're running this business of yours, or if you want to run this business of yours from the corner of your house, these questions are very important. We call them, or we refer to them as corporate finance questions, right? And you might be saying, why should I answer corporate finance questions when I just want to start a corner shop? Now, why this is important is because of what I believe, which is think big while starting small. All right, if you think big while starting small, it becomes a whole lot easier for you to focus on the things that are important, and it becomes a whole lot easier for you to also grow and scale. So let's quickly get right into this question. So the first question that you ask yourself is what we refer to as capital budgeting question. And this question borders on areas such as how are you going to acquire, or how are you going to get the money to acquire the tools, the long-term tools that you need to run your business. So how are you going to get money to register your business? How are you going to get money to buy the tools, the machineries that you need? If you need a phone, how are you going to get money to buy the kind of phone that you need to take pictures and post on Instagram for people to know about your product? If you are going to get an office space, how are you going to get money for the rent, for the fixtures, for the fittings, and for everything? How are you going to get the necessary long-term financing that you need to actually run your business? Now, why it is important for you to answer the capital budgeting question is because sometimes we don't really know how much it will cost us to start a business until we start. So some people just say, oh, just start, you figure it out. Yeah, that's true, and that's also what I advise. But don't be clueless. The fact that you will figure things out as you go does not mean you will be clueless, right? You need to know exactly how key things are going to play out in your business. Because even if you're starting an Instagram shop, you will need a phone, you will need a light, right? You will need a microphone, you will need a couple of things, you will need a laptop, you will need some softwares that you will pay for, you will need some applications that you pay for, and all of those things. All of those things are supposed to be questions that you will answer under your capital budgeting arrangement. Okay, you need to answer those questions so that you will know whether there are some of these things that you can start using for free, and how long you will need to use them for free before you go ahead to acquire the more expensive one. So that's very important. That's the very first question that you need to ask and answer, right? The second question is what is referred to as capital structure question, right? How are you going to finance, right? How are you going to finance this business, this beautiful business you're about to start, or this beautiful business that you have started? Now, there are two ways basically to finance a business. It's through equity or debt. Okay, now this equity or debt can come from you or other people. So let's look at debt, for example. If you're starting a business and you're the sole provider of the funding of the business, the money you're providing to your business is actually supposed to serve as a debt. It simply means that you are financing your business through personal equity, right? But you're giving your business a loan. That is why in accounting there is what is called drawings, right? Drawings is like your business giving you money, or you giving your business money. So basically, if you are bringing your money to start a business, you should look at that as you financing your business with debt. All right, and sometimes you might not also need to be the one to bring the money. You might need to borrow money from institutions, you might need to borrow money from people to start that business. That is also some form of debt financing. Okay, the other part of financing or capital structure question that you have to answer is equity, right? Are you going to be the sole funder of the business? Are you going to be the sole person who is going to fund the business? And in that case, you'll be looking at the structure of the organization you want to run. So most likely you're running a sole proprietorship. Okay, in that case, you are just the sole owner and the sole mover of the business. that could be a good way to start. But like I said in the beginning, think big while starting small. All right. If you know you want to build a global business, you want to build a big and global brand, you have to structure it right from the beginning. But that will be a conversation in a different video. All right. So if you're going to bring equity into the business, who are you going to bring the equity from? Are you going to have partners? Are you going to have people who will fund the business? What is going to be the equity ratio? How much are they going to bring into the business, and how much shares or ownership are you going to give to them? How are you going to reward them? Are you going to give them dividend at the end of the period? Are you going to pay dividend at the end of 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? Are you not going to pay dividends at all while you keep increasing the value of their equity stake in the business? These are all capital structure questions, and you need to be clear on this. So you could say, you know what, in the first 12 months of the business, I am going to fund the business through my personal money, and I'm going to give that to the business as a debt. So it means that in starting your business, you funded the business on debt. So after 12 months, you can decide to take the money you use in financing the business out of the business. So you can decide to take your debt financing out of the business by taking the money you gave to the business, so that the business can run on the money it has generated over the period. Okay, you can also say, you know what, let me borrow money from people, from friends, family, well-wishers, and all of that. You will have terms of agreement, you will have terms of payment, you will also have time of repayment. All of those things you should put into consideration, because why some people run into trouble is because they take a debt that is short term while trying to use it to finance a long-term business project. So they take a debt that is short term while trying to use it to finance a long-term business project. That's a recipe for disaster, because what happens is that before the business begins to make a reasonable amount of money for you to be able to pay those people, the people would have come for your neck. And before you know it, you're no longer battling with running a business, you're now battling with trying to pay back debt. And before you know what's going on, the business has fallen apart and the business has collapsed. This is one of the reasons why a lot of small businesses don't make it and don't eventually grow. All right. So the third question you need to ask is what is known as working capital management question. All right. Working capital management question. And what's your working capital? Working capital deals with the cash flow of the business, and the cash flow of the business helps you in the day-to-day running of the business. It helps you to make payments. It helps you to take care of immediate transactions. So when you're answering your working capital management question, what you're looking at is, how am I going to receive money? Am I going to sell on credit? Am I going to do cash delivery? That's why you see some vendors, they do cash on delivery, while some vendors do cash before delivery. It's a working capital management question, because if you have to do cash on delivery, your problems will not be the same as the person who is doing cash before delivery. So you need to test these things out, okay, and be able to know exactly how it fits into the overall ideology and interest of your business. And that is also a function of the people you're trying to serve. There are some kind of people you'll be trying to serve. You will know that the best bet for you is to ask for cash before you deliver. And then there are some kind of products you'll be selling and some kind of people you'll be serving. You will know that it is best for you to deliver the product so that the people can see it, feel it, before you ask them to make payment. All of these things will raise different kinds of problems. All of these scenarios will raise different kinds of financial problems for you, which could lead to financial squeeze. Because if you don't answer the question of working capital management properly, what could happen is that a lot of people will be owing you. You have a lot of returned products, you have a lot of damaged products, and before you know it, your business begins to shake. Okay, if you're rendering services, it's also the same thing. You need to answer the question of, how are people going to pay me? If, for example, you have clients on retainership, are you going to charge them on a monthly basis? Are you going to charge them quarterly? Are you going to charge them annually? Remember that any of these you choose will affect your customer retainership, your customer retention ratio, right? The amount of people that come into your doors against the amount of people that you eventually retain in the business. So working capital management question is very, very important for you to answer. And by the time you're able to answer that question, it becomes a whole lot easier for you to know, make very comprehensive and interesting projections about how much you're going to make each month. Okay, so yeah, those are the three important questions that any business owner must answer. Or if you're trying to start a business, those are very important questions that you must answer. You must ask yourself, how am I going to finance the business? Okay, how am I going to get money to buy the various long-term tools or resources or machinery that I need to run this business? Second one is, how am I going to finance these assets? Okay, am I going to use my own money? Am I going to borrow money from people? Am I going to use equity financing, and so on and so forth? Then lastly, working capital management. How am I going to manage the cash flow nature and the cash flow structure of the business? Right? If you are able to be clear on these questions, the financial aspect of your business is more or less set and you're ready to go. Then you can fix other things as you move along the path. Remember that money is very important in sustaining your business. You might not need a lot of money to start the business, but as you start the business, you need a lot of cash. You need a lot of proper cash structuring to be able to make progress. I hope this video was helpful to you. Please share with someone that you love. Subscribe to our channel so that you can get more insightful lessons like this one. And please do share this video with someone you love. Leave a comment so that you can encourage us to keep investing the time and the energy to produce more interesting videos like this. So until I come your way next time, keep having yourself some money sense. Bye.